Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapari Swaha. Om 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 Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapari Swaha. Om Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapari Swaha. Om Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Hello everyone. With this extra special opening, I have the pleasure of welcoming you to the 25th episode of the Lama Life livestream event of Lama Tsultrim Allione. My name is Drimé, and I'm overjoyed that we have finally been able to listen live to the mantra that has been framing musically every event in this series. The mantra you have come to love so much, and the voice that has been bringing a smile to your faces every time. We are so thrilled that our guest today is this great artist, Nina Rao. Feel free to give a warm hello to Nina, Lama Tsultrim, and all of us from where you are connecting today. At the end of our session, you will have the opportunity to make an offering of dana to Nina Rao by sending it to her charity, Saving Wild Tigers, to honor and conserve the sacred groves of wild India, home of the majestic tiger. I will talk more about it towards the end of the event. Before we move on to the main fantastic part of our gathering today, let me share with you what awaits us in the near future when it comes to programs being offered by Terra Mandala. If you find something particularly engaging, I will post links to these programs in the chat so you can explore more. Join us for an 8-week in-depth historical and philosophical overview of Vajrayana and an exploration of the Mandala principle as a guiding framework for understanding and embodying the richness of the Vajrayana path. This online course begins September 9th and will be led by our senior teacher, Carla Jackson Brewer. With this emphasis on sacred world and sacred view, the Tantric Buddhist path includes and integrates all aspects of life, including the full range of sensory and sensual experience as we practice in the embodiment of our Buddha nature. Please keep in mind that this course is open only to practitioners who have already attended and completed the Sutrayana and Mahayana retreats. Starting September 17th is the level 1 of the Feeding Your Demons program, where you can learn the history, theory, and practice of feeding your demons, which is based on an ancient Buddhist healing practice. And for those of you who are not familiar, feeding your demons is an accessible and effective approach for dealing with negative emotions, fears, illnesses, and self-defeating patterns. It was distilled by Lama Tsultrim Allione from the teachings and practice of the 11th century Tibetan yogini Machi Labdrön. Feeding your demons has benefited thousands worldwide. So you are most invited to join Lama Tsultrim, who will be teaching live this time, and Maggie Lopon Charlotte Rotterdam and Peter Oosthuizen. It will be led on both a secular and a Buddhist track, and this is an opportunity not to be missed. And if you would like to learn more about the practice that Lama Tsultrim developed, Feeding Your Demons on Sochi, there is a 4-day virtual retreat beginning September 22nd, Machik's Bundle of Wisdom. In this retreat, we will delve into the teachings of the great bundle of precepts on severance, Machik's actual words, while also referencing one of its earliest commentaries, the outline and complete explanation by Rangjub Dorje, the third Karmapa. These teachings will provide a rich and deep support for anyone interested in this practice. This program will be led by Lama Sarah Harding. And now, it's my pleasure to give you the founder and spiritual director of Terra Mandala, Lama Tsultrim Allione, and kindly request Lama to lead us in meditation and introduce our guest today, to be followed by our journeying through the mantra of the 12th Tara. Thank you so much, Lama Tsultrim.
Thank you, Drimé, and welcome everybody. I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico right now, and I didn't think I could be on Lama Live, but it turns out I'm in a place with good Wi-Fi, so I thought, I want to be there with Nina. So, yeah, beautiful to be with you all, and let us know in the chat where you're coming in from. It's always beautiful to feel our connection. And let's begin with raising bodhicitta, the intention to be together for the benefit of all beings everywhere. Heartfelt intention. Intention is so important. What's motivating you to be here today? Thank you. I want to begin by reading the prayer requests so that we can include them in our meditation that will follow. So the first person on the prayer requests, and I'd like you to, as I say these names, do your best to tune into these beings and send them your prayers, your blessing, really your mind energy. That's what prayer is, mind energy. Kinu, Chase, Lucho. This is a young man who just passed away, and he worked at the Garden of a Thousand Buddhas, Tukusanak's place in Montana, and it's quite shocking that he passed away. So his name again is Kinu Chase Lucho. The next is Bonnie Insel from Riverside, California. give you the place so you can kind of direct your mind there. Iwana Kondro and her family in Zawodin, Poland. They have COVID. Ivana is the person that founded our Polish Sangha, and her parents are quite elderly. Victoria Cole, Santa Cruz, California. Doris Haller, Taos, New Mexico. Dieter Jensel in Mardorf, Germany. Verlene Kelly in Maricopa, Arizona. Beatrix Monroe in Portland, Oregon. Glaise Edsheimer, Friday Harbor, Washington. Lars Edsheimer in Seattle, Washington. Nicole McCracken, Mill Valley, California. James Plotz in Mill Valley, California also. And then I'd like to make a special prayer for all the fish and other animals. I imagine not only fish, probably frogs and other beings that live in the Oder River, which runs between Poland and Germany. I don't know if you have seen this in the news, but tons of fish, like tons and tons. Every ton is 2,000 pounds. Tons and tons of fish are dead, and they don't know why in this river. So this whole river has turned to poison, and they don't know why. That's also very scary. And so we will be doing the 12th Tara today with Nina, who is a Tara for regulating seasons and rains, and in general, really the Tara of climate change and of these kinds of disasters that we're seeing more and more of because human beings are disrupting this earth. And so I wanted to bring special attention to these fish today. Beautiful, healthy fish just passed away and washing up on the shores of that river. So those are the prayer requests. And now I'd like to lead you in a little meditation. So take a moment to come into wherever you're sitting, being present in your body, feeling your body touching whatever you're sitting on, and then beneath that, the Mother Earth. So let's just take a moment to come home to our bodies. And noticing how our bodies are feeling today. Are you relaxed? Are you tense? If you are, where in your body do you feel that tension? And today I would like to focus on loving kindness. Metta in Pali, Jampa in Tibetan, and loving kindness in English. Let's begin with loving kindness for ourselves. Sometimes we're really hard on ourselves. Sometimes we feel ashamed of ourselves. We have regrets. Let's offer ourselves some loving kindness today. releasing any feelings of negativity toward ourselves. And focusing on feeling of acceptance and kindness toward ourselves. And then allowing that to spread out from your own body, streams of luminosity that has the quality of love. And extend that out to those in your immediate environment. Those who are perhaps in the building where you're sitting, or if you're outside, those that are nearby, and offer loving kindness to them. And then spreading that out to the greater environment where you are. Perhaps you're in a city, spread it to all those beings, mostly humans in cities. If you're in a country setting, all those beings there, the animals, the birds, insects, the fish, the other wildlife in the water, wherever you are. It's like a wave, a tsunami of loving kindness goes out to all those beings. And it's coming primarily out of your heart and spreading. And then allowing that to go further to a larger area around where you are. So these waves of loving kindness are going out, kind of like when you drop a stone or a pebble in a very still lake. There's circles that go out from that, ripples spreading out from where that stone was dropped. So the stone was dropped in our hearts when we sent the loving kindness to ourselves, and then it's going out in ripples further and further beyond your immediate area, perhaps into the country, the whole country that you're in. And then beyond those borders, all the areas that surround your country, perhaps it's water, perhaps it's land, other countries. These borders that we make are really illusory. It's just all land and water. So sending loving kindness not only to the humans, but to all beings. It becomes like an ambrosia that they can imbibe and feel healed by. And then it goes out further, all around the globe. All those vast oceans and all the beings in those oceans. And all the beings on land and the beings in between in the swamps and lowlands. They suddenly feel a wave of love coming over them. They stop wherever they are and just soak it in. Vast feeling of loving kindness without preference for those that you prefer, those that you don't like, all the same, just love. And then out to the whole universe, to all the beings in that vast universe, that unlimited universe. We have no idea who's out there, what's out there. But we on this earth are emanating love, freedom from fear, openness, kindness. Thank you. Let's come back now to the present moment in our bodies, wherever we are. But that love is out there. We can keep sending it out. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce Nina now. Beloved Nina. I met Nina because of my connection with Krishna Das, and she actually had a career in banking before she was with Krishna Das, and she met him in 1996, and ever since then she's been his manager and also accompanied him in his band for all this time. And gradually her own background, which started with her grandfather in South India singing bhajan, these devotional chants, with her as a child, came forth, and her own independent development occurred. And Nina has now produced several albums that are really amazing. I have them and I play them in my car on long drives and also short drives. I think she has an amazing voice, and there's so much heart in her music. And I wanted to point out a couple of her albums so that you can get them if you want. And so there's one that was produced in 2013. It's called Antarayami, which means indwelling presence. That's the one that I had in my car that she gave me. And there's another one, a very special one, called Anubar in 2018, which means your own practice, your own spiritual experience that comes from your meditation practice. That's what Anubar means. So those are the names of her albums, and perhaps Drimé can put those in the chat. So without further ado, I want to welcome Nina, and she's going to chant to and talk about the 12th Tara and her work with that, her personal work with that as well, that mantra. Thank you, Nina.
Lama. I'm so incredibly honored to be with you like this. It's really moving for me. and to see you on the screen this way. You know, I've done a few programs with Lama, and I've always wanted to spend a lot of time with her, which we haven't been able to have. But every moment that I have spent with her since the very first time I met Lama has been pure inspiration for me and infused with love. And I thank you for that, Lama, because you're really a model for many of us. Thank you so much. So one of the times that I met Lama was when I went to Taramandala, and I entered the temple and was immediately completely overwhelmed with the feeling of the beautiful energy of not only Machig Labron, but also the 21 taras in the mandala. And I spent a lot of time just standing in front of each one of them. And at the time, there was a little, I don't know how it is now, but there was a little plate that had the mantra of the tara. And I met Chandra during that time, and over the years, Chandra Easton, Lopan Chandra Easton, who is also Lama's student and teacher on her own, Dorje. And we started working on these mantras together. And she felt very much that she wanted to hear them or recite them with melody. And this is something that I've been doing, just hearing mantra and then putting melody to it very naturally. And one of the first mantras that came to the fore with a melody was this one for Tara Tashi Donje Ma, the 12th Tara. And I looked at her, I'll say the mantra. It's Om Tare Tu Re, Mangalam, which is auspiciousness, Shri Mahapani Swaha. And her description is given as being golden in color. She is the one who brings about auspiciousness and also timely seasons, as Lama mentioned before. And so she's very much related to climate change, which is something that I pay a lot of attention to. And one of the things that I did after I left banking and before I was actually working with Krishnadas full-time is that I took people out into the wilderness of Africa and India. And it was during that time that I founded and created this charity called savingwildtigers.org. Because my understanding was that, and this is my little corner of the earth, and that this charity is dedicated to, but everywhere I go, I would like to be able to bow to the blessings that we receive from Mother Nature. Just in the way Lama brought to our attention today about the fish in the Oder River in Poland. Things like this are happening all the time in big ways that we can take notice like this, and also in the smallest of ways in our neighborhoods, for example. So if we are able to invoke the energy of this Tara 12, because I, like Lama, believe that prayer can change things. Prayer does change things. Our mind energy, our intention changes things not only within us and our ability to absorb and accept and then move through everything that's going on around us in a way with wisdom and compassion, but also the doing of prayers can change the outcome of a situation. And this is something that my guru, Siddhima, whose image is behind me, was talked about all the time, and how important it was that for anything that we wanted for ourselves or for any other beings, praying was the way. This is where we can put our energy. And the best and easiest way to pray and to meditate using our mental energy is the use of mantra, which in India they say is the practice for the current age. And we employ the mantras to help focus our minds, give us clarity, and bring about the wisdom within us. But also the sound of the mantra will change the situation, can change whatever samskaras are affecting each of us. Sorry, to turn off my phone here. So what I'd like to do, and I think Drimé and Lama, if this is okay with you, I'd like to just sing through the same mantra for Tara 12 for just a little while, just to feel into her presence, this presence of auspiciousness, which is also a word that I'm always exploring more and more, because what does it actually mean? Mangalam, Sarva Mangalam, may all be auspicious. May all beings be happy. Just as we did in our loving kindness meditation before, we sent out this energy to all beings everywhere, including we start with ourselves and near beings and then farther beings. And ultimately, we can reach out to this entire planet in which we live and understand that this planet and the universe beyond is made up of these elements, as we are as well, the 5 elements. And it is held together by Gaia, if you want to call her that. Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi is another word that we use in India. The Jagat Ambe, Mother of the Universe. And she patiently is holding us. No matter what we offer back to her, she gives us back what we need to sustain ourselves. She also gives us clues about where we might do better. For example, these kind of incidences that happen, like wildfires, mass extinction of species, and so on, so that we can notice what we need. Look at the temple in which we live. We're connected to all these beings. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And it is our connection through these beings that connect us then to the divinity, through the sacredness of all, including each other's hearts, our human friends and those who are not. So let's do this mantra. It's Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. So I'll start by singing it, and you just join in and sing along with me, and just feel into this mantra about bringing in auspiciousness. Because if we don't have the faith that there is auspiciousness around us, it's very hard to have hope to continue every day if we start looking at only that which is negative and that which is hard and that which is challenging. But we can meet this challenge by understanding that all around us is auspiciousness, and we can invoke that at all times. And when we do that ourselves, we bring it about for all beings around us as well. Okay? Tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om 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 Om Tare Ture Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. 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 So I feel like some of our prayers might have been answered with the passing of the new climate bill by the Senate. That will help, because it's also our dharma, our duty to do our part in slowing down the rise in the temperature of our planet. So we can start by, Lama asked me to share a little bit about what I do. And in my little corner of the world, I like to talk about conserving what we have been given by Mother Nature already. We have incredible wildlands, wilderness, including the waters, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the ice formations at the top of the mountains that are imperative for preserving the temperature on this planet, and for water and for life for all living beings. So we can start by preserving what we have left, whatever wilderness we might have in national forests, in nature preserves, because within these forests are held the secrets of nature, which we don't know. We know just a tiny fraction of. And once they're lost, there's no way for us to recreate this wisdom, this life, this prana, this life force that makes up this planet and our universe. So that's one aspect of it. So that's conservation or preservation. The other is what we take out from the earth, what we take away from the planet. How do we moderate our use of what we think we need, what we need to consume, whether it's fossil fuels, whether it's farming of the land where we've completely depleted the soil by use of certain pesticides. So that's what we put back into the earth. And so, for example, one of the things that arises from that is the death of all these fish in the river in Poland, and we have no idea. They've detected some toxic substances, chemical substances in the water. That's possibly the cause for the death of these fish. So what we take out of the earth, what we put into the earth, and how we can preserve what is natural. These are the ways in which we can do our part to help Tara, help us. So that's the kind of work that we do. Simple things like in the area that I live up here in New Paltz, my tiny plot of land, I am creating, planting native species. So there's a beautiful website called Homegrown National Park where you can find out what your native species are and grow them. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to do much gardening. You just plant because they're used to this environment, they'll grow. And what happens is all the birds, the pollinators, the bees, the butterflies, the worms, the snakes, all these beings will come and make their home. And in this country, for example, 78% of the land is privately owned. So imagine if we made all of our land into national parks with native species that are native to each of the areas in which we live. We'll be creating one giant national park. And when we do that, we have trees, we preserve the trees that are holding the carbon in the earth. All these things are going to help with what we're trying to achieve here and what we're praying for, And so these climate bill that's been passed, for example, helps us to buy electric cars, for example, preserve more of the wilderness areas, cleaning up certain parts of some of the waters that we have access to, and so on. So much of it is there's much more that we can do, but it's a big step in the right direction. So that's Tara working on our plane over here for us. Lama, did you want to talk more about Tashi Donjema and maybe talk a little bit about her and how she appears for us?
I'm sorry, Lama. There is some issue and we can't hear you. I'm not sure why.
Drimé, why don't you take me off the screen?
Okay, let's try.
That might help.
Maybe it would be best if you could just log out and in again. I'm very sorry, Lama, for this technical problem. We just don't know what caused it. I'm very sorry.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Oh, we're so sorry. I think there's some sound distortion between the two the two screens right now. So this one of them should be, I guess, turned off so that we could.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Maybe if Lama leaves and comes back, we might be able to have her back on and hear her voice. But yes, I'm happy. I believe there might be the opportunity for people to ask questions if they like. And so if you'd like to send in your questions, that would be great. Drimé will convey them to me. Otherwise, we can also just close with a little bit of chanting. Drimé, whatever you think is good, we'll do. Okay. Will you share the questions with me, or I should be able to see it on the chat, yeah?
Yes, there are no questions at this moment because we didn't announce that.
Okay.
We only have some early submitted questions.
Okay.
Yes.
So would you like to do that, or would you like to, should we just chant? What do you think we should do? Chant some more. Lama saying chant more.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay. So we just have a few minutes, right? Okay. All right, let's do that. So I mentioned before about Bhumi Devi. Bhumi Devi is Mother of the Earth, the source of all things. So the chant that I'll sing now, and you can, if you know it, some of you have heard it before, you can sing along with me or just listen. But I'll start with an invocation to the goddess, who here is also invoked as auspiciousness. And then we will call out to her as the one Anandadayini, the bliss bestowing goddess, and bliss that arises from all of nature, all of the elements around us. Okay. Sarvamangalamagalye Shive Sarvati Sadhike Sharanye Triambike Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Shive 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 Narayani Namostute Shive Shive Amma Anandadayini 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 Shri Jai Ma Jagatambe Janani 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 Shri Jaya Ma Bhumi Devi Ma Jaya Ma Bhumi Devi Shri Jaya Ma Bhumi Devi Shri Jai Ma Jai Jai Ma Shri Jai Ma Jai Jai Ma Amma Anandadayini Amma Anandadayini Amma Anandadayini Anandadayini Shri Jai Ma Jagatambe Janani Shri Jai Ma Jagatambe Janani Shri Jaya Ma Bhumi Devi Shri Jaya Ma Bhumi Devi Shri Jaya Ma Bhumi Devi Shri Jai Ma Jai Jai Ma 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 Jai Ma Jai Jai Ma Amma Anandadayini Amma Anandadayini Amma Anandadayini Anandadayini Amma Anandadayini. Sarvamangala-mangalye Shive Sarvartha-sadhike Sharanye Triambike Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute. O Goddess, the three-eyed Goddess, we take refuge in you, she who brings about auspiciousness and well-being to all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Lamala. Thank you so much, Nina. Let's dedicate the merit for our time together today. May we bring each and every being without one exception to the state of noble Tara. And may all beings be healthy, free from suffering and its causes. And may they awaken to their true nature. Thank you. And once again, thank you both for your rich presence. Nina, for playing and singing for us and sharing this intimate setting and time so rich in the tradition of Indian music. Just love it. And it truly felt as if we were sitting in one room with you. Thank you for your tender hearts, Lamala and Ninala, and bringing awareness into what truly matters for our today and our future. Thank you. And dear audience, thank you for this time when we can be together, because we really are, and nurture our bonds and hearts, and also support each other in learning how to act more compassionately. Thank you. And you probably noticed that I posted the link in the chat, and I would like to remind you that there is an opportunity to offer Dana to Nina Rao in gratitude for this time together, whose charity, Saving Wild Tigers, raises money for immediate needs of these beautiful animals. Dana is a Pali word meaning generosity, and according to the Buddha, generosity is one of the central practices of a spiritual life. In the act of giving, we develop our ability to let go of attachment, cultivate an attitude of open sharing, and acknowledge the interconnectedness of all beings. And please remember, No donation is too small. May we meet again and again on the path, and may all beings benefit everywhere.
Tare tu re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare tu re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare tu re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare tu re